Hello everyone, welcome to the Tech Hench. Today we are going to cover an interesting Selenium topic, which is of running your execution or executing your scripts on a different machine or a remote machine rather than running your scripts locally. This is something which is very common across organization. You never get to run your test cases on your local machine because once you run your cases on local machine, that machine resources get busy and you might not be able to perform any other task. And this is a quite practice where some pipelines are generated or created in order to run the scripts that you have or the project that you have on a different machine. So for that we'll learn using the Selenium Grid here. So I'll create a very simple common example to demonstrate the use of Selenium Grid, how you can run your test cases on a different machine. So let's just quickly jump into this and let's create very few dummy cases and we'll try to run those over a different machine. So this is a Windows machines where we have our project. Let's just create some example test cases. Maybe let's create a new package first. Sample. I'll name it sample test cases. Okay, let's just quickly find a website. We'll create some dummy cases. You can do any sort of automation on any dummy website. There are a lot of dummy websites available. Let's just search for any automation practice sites. Okay, we'll take any of this and let's see which can be of use. Source demo. Yeah, there is a list of websites. Okay, we have used this earlier. Let's just skip this for now. Or let's just use the same only sourcedemo.com. Okay, so what this is a very simple website where user would have to, this is the password given. This is standard user, logged user, problem users. So we'll do the test case of standard user, login only. Say for example, we'll land on this page and we'll log in. And after that, we'll verify that if we are on Swag Labs page, that means we have logged in successful. Okay, let's just create a test case for that. So in this, we'll create a new class, say valid login tests, right? Okay, here is the class. So let's just create new test methods. Create test. Mm, mm, valid login test. Okay. Let's just create a method so that we'll create a method, common method for executing, running the cases on a different machine. But for now, let's just create a basic structure that what we would need to do with Selenium. For now, let's just take web driver. Okay, and this should come from the Selenium package. Okay, this is imported and a test annotation would come from testng. I would need to see, I guess testng is not available in these dependencies. Yes, testng is not available. So let's just grab testng dependency quickly. I'll add this dependency so that jars would be available to us for use because we are using a test annotation over here. Okay, this is now saved. Let's just go back to this and let's see now if we can add it from testng. Let me build this once. Is imported successfully. Yes, it is fine now. Just updating the project, may one update so that dependency come back. Even update project, Selenium examples. Okay, this is good now. Let's just see if we can get a test annotation from testng, add testng library, import from testng annotations. Okay, now it is good. Now let's just take references of the web page. I mean, we would need to find the web elements to in order to log in. So definitely we need login, user password. We would have to enter a username, user password, and click on login button, right? So for that, I'll quickly find some XPaths to this, right? How Okay, this is an input tag. I will directly look for placeholder username. This should be unique. An input tag, name of tag, in square braces, you need to give the attribute placeholder into username. Okay, yeah, right. This is finding exactly what I want. So what we would use, we would directly enter some text into this. Driver dot, we will find element. How we are finding? By XPath. And what is the XPath we just created? I'm pasting here. I would have to enter some values into this. For that, I would be using send keys method from Selenium. And what are the keys that we need to send? It would be the username. I'm giving the username directly. Obviously, in a well-defined structure, the username come from you know based on structure how you want to give it. It can be coming from an Excel file or maybe some other data source, right? It depends upon the framework that how you are preparing in your organization. But right now we are focusing to learn how to execute the script on a very different environment. Okay, so similarly, I will have to send some password, but I would have to replace the password placeholder here. I guess replacing, if I inspect again, replacing the here password should work. Yeah, it is also given in this way. So I'll use that password. Okay. So this is what the driver is doing. I have just initialized to null. We'll have to initialize in a different way. Okay. Because what we usually do is driver is equal to new Chrome driver live, but since we are running on a remote machine, we'll use it in a different way. Okay, I'll come back to that later. So this comes to and these steps are entering credentials into the system. Next step would be on click on login button. So let's just find XPath to this login button now. How it is coming? It is again in input tab, input button with the value login. Okay, or data test, not class, type submit. Type we can take, seems common. Input type submit. Right, tick. Okay, yeah, this is correct. So now in order to click this, what we will do, driver dot find element. How we are finding? By dot XPath method we'll use. We need to provide XPath here. This would find the web element, and what action we need to perform? We need to perform click action on this. Okay, very simple test case, right? So let it be like this way only. I'm not adding any assertion over here. We just need to see the execution how it is occurring, right? Let's just create another class invalid login, right? Say invalid login, invalid login. Okay, and here I would have create public another method to test invalid login, public void invalid login test. Say this is the name of method, and how we would create just driver. Okay, and I'll copy the same script from existing one. Only thing what we need to do is we will use some other user, maybe say logged out user or problem user. This is a problem user, right? If we try to log in with this, okay, this is something that it is able to log in. Let's just find something that is not even able to log in. Or what we can do is let's just provide a invalid password, right? Say any invalid password I provide, it show something like this, right? So what I will do in this very script, I will just, I'm sorry, we did not edit the password correctly. The earlier script I'm adding in the valid login test, I added the valid password, and in an invalid login test, I will add some invalid password so the user won't be able to log in, right? So this becomes the this becomes our method. Now thing that is left to run over is, now what we are left with is it that how we need to provide, how we can make this code run on a different machine, the execution to work on a different machine, right? I'll import this once. We would need a test annotation, right? And this we would add from test ng, right? So we'll have to see that how we'll make this driver make use of we will make use of remote web driver class to run this test cases on a remote machine. That means a different machine. But firstly, what we need on a different machine is that Selenium Grid server must be running on that machine, and while running that grid on a different machine, we will get a URL that we will give pass to this execution, which will make this possible to run on it, execute this test cases on different machines. Okay, so let's just quickly jump to the different machine and see that how we can download grid jar file, how we can run a grid server there and get a URL to uh, see that how the resources are there, and get to see that how we can execute this test cases, these two test cases that we have created over here on a different machine. So we are now in a different machines. So let's just now quickly set up the Selenium Grid over here. So to do that, what we need is to download. First of all, Java should be set up in your system, that's for sure. And what you need is you need to go to your browser and search for Selenium Grid, right? Selenium Grid we will search for, and we need to download a jar file to run grid over this machine. So let me just go to Google first and then see. Selenium Grid, right? So this is official website for grid. I'll go to this link. We'll go to downloads. We'll see how we can get this done, and then you would have to come down over here to download this Selenium Grid. This is the latest version available. Just simply click on this to download. I already have this jar downloaded, so I won't download this, but you would need this jar to run grid over this machine. And after that, what you would need is go to, I will open terminal, and I would go to the path where this is downloaded. I have kept this in documents. Okay, so I have this jar file over here. What we'll do to run this jar, we would have a Java command which is java-jar. This is to start a jar and run a jar with this Java, and after that you would need to give name of the jar that you want to run, Selenium. This is the name of the file. Okay, so we need to remember this command, java-jar selenium server, right? The name of the file, the jar file, and then you will need to tell that how you want to, these are the few parameters this jar needs before you run it. So one of them is how you want to run. There are different modes. You can run this as a hub grid. This works as a hub grid network, a central hub, and a number of different machines can also be added to one hub. That means you can run your scripts on different machines at the same time. uh, since we are running on a very single environment, which is most of the case, then you can run it in a standalone mode. So to run that, we would need to write here stand alone. And as you know that to run any like to run scripts on any, even in our local machines, we need WebDriver, or we make use of WebDriver Manager, or Selenium 4 directly make use of WebDriver Manager to download that driver file for a uh, particular browser to run this. But in order, say for example, we are running a different machine where nothing is available, you can, this again, Selenium Server 4.27 again comes with functionality that you can say that yes, I mean, you want the web drivers to be automatically managed so that scripts can run on this machine. Okay, so for that, what you would need is you would give hyphen, uh, then you will write hyphen hyphen Selenium hyphen manager. This is the parameter, and you need to value to this. I will give true, so this will make Selenium manager running, and all the all the required web drivers will be automatically managed. If I hit enter, as you can see, it has started running now. Okay, so this is the URL. I mean, this is running on local host, and this is the URL that it made to be available for any other machine, to tell that, I mean, if any other machine, say for example, we are doing our coding in Windows, so we would need this information, particular information in terms of URL, that hey, is my machine hosted, or Selenium Hub running, or Selenium Grid running. You can just hit this URL and try getting your scripts executed. I'm sorry that this stopped the server. I will again start it again. Okay, so this is the URL that we have. Okay, I'll quickly show you that what exactly, I mean, one can, you can open this URL in your browser as well, but thing is that you would need to keep that that terminal running. You can't stop this by the time you need this. Okay, I'm opening this URL. As you can see, this is a dummy, I mean, a page created by URL. I mean, you would get to see that how many resources are available. See, it depends upon the hardware or machine, right? And the how many configured, you know, browser sessions you can create. For example, it is saying that for Chrome you can create 10, for for Firefox you can create 10 concurrent session, and for Safari even one. You can configure this with command. There are the number of different command options that we used in the terminal to configure this. Okay, but this is the default configuration. We would need need to run on Chrome for sure. And yeah, this is the max concurrency it is giving, that maximum 10 concurrent sessions can be created on this machine to run 10 cases concurrently. This totally depends upon the hardware. This can be 20, 30 for different other machines as well. It depends upon the thread it can support. Okay, so our grid is running. So let's just move back to our Windows machine to make use of this URL to run the cases there. Okay, so we are back to our original Windows machine once again, and we'll make use of that grid URL to run our cases, right? So what the URL was, p//16.1.13 port 4444. Okay, yeah. So this is still running, as you can see. This is supported on a Mac machine. So we'll execute these cases remotely on a Mac machine. So for that, what we need is, we would need to, see how we can make use of remote WebDriver. Earlier, I mean, in the cases you have seen that we initialized it as WebDriver driver is equal to new Chrome driver to run it on a local machine. But for now, what we need is, we will make use of new remote WebDriver class. Okay, and this will give us a session, but we need two things more here. One is the capabilities. Okay, so we'll create as desired
capabilities class, capabilities, new, new desired capabilities, right? Okay, and because we need this as parameter to initialize the remote web driver, and with this cap we set we make use of set platform. What kind of platform machine is that? We make use of that platform. Will set as platform dot mac, right? Since we are running this on a the remote service is a Mac machine, right? And there are number of remote web driver class has number of constructors. We'll make use of one with the URL and capabilities. I'll pause, skip. So let's just quickly see that where it has URL and capabilities, right? We need two things to initialize with this. One we created already, that is capability, and other we will make use of URL. So let's just create new URL. Mm, let's just create a URL first. Make use of URL class. URL remote is equal to new URL, and we can toss the URL as argument to this, right? What is the URL we have? We need till here, right? Not the UI part. We'll whatever the system gave us, we'll use that directly, right? We'll have to import the URL class, import URL. Okay, so this URL will use over here. Okay, we need to, since this throws, let's just add this and try get, and then later use this, or and we would have to initialize that as well. Okay, so this is something, it is done now, and what we would use is more, let's copy, and what I would do is let's just copy paste this code to the other class as well, which is invalid login. Okay, so this will make use of this URL this way. Capability code we forgot to copy. Desired capability code also we will copy. Okay, so let me just quickly see, and let's just try to run this with test ng class as well. Run as test ng test. Let's just see what we get. This is an invalid login test. Let's just see if this is running or not, right? Okay, yeah, this test train could not start a new session. Response message could not start a session. Unable to obtain gecko driver error code. Okay, browser, we would need to, one more thing we need to set is private dot uh, browser name. Browser name would have to set. That would be, does this need any browser name, or what we will do is set browser, not get browser, dot set browser. We should have a method set browser name, right? This would take browser name as we did not give the what type of browser we wanted. It tried to use gecko driver. Gecko driver is Firefox. The Firefox is not available on that machine, so that's why it did not run. Okay, so yeah, we missed this. We have to tell specifically that what type of platform on which Selenium Grid is running is, and what kind of browser you want to make use of there. And let's just add it here as well. Now let's try to run this, any of this test. Run as test ng test. I'm running this. Okay, there is some more failure coming. Let's just see. Unable to locate no such element. Input placeholder. Okay, it's opened, it ran the script over there, but there is some error coming. So we will see that what exactly, why exactly it's not working, but there might be some error with the export. Definitely it is saying that no such element. So let's just see if this export is correct or not that we are giving in our website. Let's just go. Okay. This is a website, right? Expect username and password. This is input, right? Definitely. Let me reload this. Expect find password. It is pointing to input tag. Okay, I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry with that. We did never tried driver. We did not point that where we want to get this driver to. We just directly use the web elements. But firstly, we would have to get to this URL as well, right? So let's just add script for that. Uh, Go to URL. How you use that? Driver dot get, right? Driver dot get. We need to pass this URL, and what we do, we will make this way to open this browser window with this URL, and we will maximize this window using driver dot manage dot window dot driver dot manage dot window dot maximize. This will maximize the window that is present. Okay. Okay, let's just add this to valid login as well. Okay, so our test cases are ready. Let's just move this. I'm saving this as well. Now run this. Run as test ng test. Okay, again there is some error. Let's just see that could not start a new session. Possible cause invalid address of the remote servers. The server might have stopped right now. Host info based. Okay, we would have to see that if that is still running. I will move quickly jump to the Mac machine to see that if terminal is still open and we are able to see, or what we can do is we can go to this URL itself and refresh this. It says it is available, so this is running on the Mac for sure. So let's just try to rerun this again. And that as test ng test. Let's wait for execution to start. Let's see. This must be trying to connect to the machine. Let's just verify the URL. This should be correct. Right. I guess it's trying to make connection, but it's not able to make correct. I'm stopping this intentionally. We'll rerun that again. I'm trying to remove this. Let's see how many sessions or okay, it has stopped now. There has been error while fetching loading nodes from this grid. Let's just see. Okay, there is something like, I mean, the terminal might have stopped. So let's just jump to our Mac machine to see or rerun that terminal again, and then we will re-execute those cases. Yeah, this is not available now. So let's just the Mac might have, hibernated. I would have to restart and then we'll re-execute. Machine. So as you can see, there are browsers opened. So definitely it did worked. So I'll close this for now. This got hibernated. As you can see, that Swag Labs page also opened. So I'm closing this for now. This has moved from up to down, right? Is it saying switching node? It has moved from up to down. We'll have to restart this again, this server again. I'll terminate this session. I'll move to terminal again. Again, we'll move to the folder first. We have that jar file in documents, right? So let's just see, we have this jar. So again, let's just remember that what is the command to run this. It is java -jar, name of that jar file, which is Selenium, and we'll need to run this in standalone. So we'll write stand alone, and we need Selenium manager as on -manager true. Okay, running this. Okay, this is again running. Yeah, so it has started server on the same URL again. We'll get back, refresh this to see if this is reload. Yeah, this is no session is there so far. So we'll quickly jump back to the Windows machine now to run this cases over here, and we'll see that how the cases are executed. So I'm switching back to Windows machine now to run those cases. We'll wait here to see that how cases are executing. So we are back on our Windows machine. Let's just see that if this grid is still running. I am refreshing this page, so this should load proper and good. Yeah, so this is running. I'll quickly jump back to the test case that we have. So let's just first run as I will write test ng test. I'm running this invalid login test case. So they should now create a session over there and should execute the script on the Mac machine, right? So so it says that valid login test has passed, right? I mean, since because like it must have opened a window over there. We'll see that on that machine as well while executing from here. And then let's just run the invalid login test as well. So this is valid login test has passed. I'll run this one as well. As you can see, or let's just add a thread sleep. I'll show you that how it is, see from here. Before clicking on submit, I will enter thread dot sleep. I'll show you that how this is consuming. So let's just stop it for say 6 seconds there. This is time in milliseconds. So adding this in try catch, this will stop it for 6 seconds, and we'll see that how sessions are being consumed. I'm refreshing this page, so it has not freed up that session that test case that we ran. So this might take a while, but let's just run this and see if it creates another session over there, right? So I'm moving at this very time moving. So as you can see, the session has now turned to 2. That means it has created another Windows session for this Chrome browser, and it is still might be running over there. So we have added a base time over here. By the time it gets freed, it eventually frees up the session so that that can be used by other further test cases. Okay, so let's just jump to our Mac machine. I'll execute it from Windows, and let's just see the execution coming up on the Mac machine now. I'll re-execute the cases one by one, and we'll see on Mac machine. Okay. Back on our Windows machine. As you can see, the browsers have launched over here. I mean, this is from preview execution. We will see the execution live over here running up. So terminal is up and running. Yeah, these are the logs created by the sessions. Okay, so I'll close the sessions created already. Okay, this was the valid login page, I guess. Yeah, it got logged in. So I've closed them, and now we'll see this. How many? I'm refreshing this. We are still there. No. I'll refresh this and see. Quit this one, and let me just refresh, reload this page and see. Yeah, so the sessions got freed up. So let's just now quickly I'll execute the cases from our Windows machines, and we'll see that how automatically the browsers are loaded up by here. And so I'm going to run firstly the invalid login test first. Okay, definitely a case should have auto driver quit for sure, but since we are not using it here, that's why the screen, I mean the browser session always is opened even after execution of test. So I'm running this invalid login test first. I have started executed. Let's see if the windows, okay, as you can see the logs moved up. This is invalid login. It entered a user password. It is waiting before clicking on login, and once it clicked login, it gave the credentials are invalid. This is our basic test. I'll move over here to see that how session is coming up. It says one session is there, right, since it is still open. And now again I'll run the other case, the valid login test from Windows machine, and we'll see the execution over here. I'm running that test case. Okay, it opened another browser window. It added the credentials and able to log in directly, right? So this way we can make use of Selenium grids. We can run the test cases over different browsers. Also, we have options with Selenium grid to use multiple machines, so that if in an organization you have a number of cases, maybe in thousands, and you want number of machines to be running them, so that you have distributed resources, or maybe you want to run it over different say platforms as well. Say for example, we did ran this, I mean on a Mac machine. Maybe you want to run it on a Linux machine as well. So this way Selenium grid can be very useful. I mean, this is the entire use of Selenium grid to execute test cases in a distributed way, or in remote environment, so that your system resources are not always, local system resources are not too busy to work on different items. So, and this is the approach, I mean, it is used in different organizations to manage execution of cases. Usually the execution is given to managed with different remote machines where this grid is running, and you have a URL, and pipelines are created to run different test suites over those machines. One just have to go and run the suites and wait for that suite to run, and pipeline sometimes gives you the result after execution completed, and you just can go and validate the results or see the results, how the results are coming up or not. So yeah, this was the end-to-end approach on Selenium grid. I hope you would like this video. Thanks for watching.